So I've puttied in where I had those small gaps. I use this one. It's a perfect plastic putty. Deluxe Materials, the brand. It's water soluble. That's why I use it around detail like this, and in small gaps. I wouldn't use this for like filling seams. I use Tamiya white putty for that because it's harder. This will shrink, well, all putty shrinks, but specifically I use it just for this type of work. So once it's in, just smear it in with an applicator, and then moisten a cotton bud, just wipe it off, and then you can just get I got a needle and the pin vise, and I just clean out the seam lines, and where you got those rivets, you can just put the needle point in there and just push the putty back out. So that's that sorted. So the cowl, I've started to process how I'm going to tackle it. Like I said, I'm put the engine on, put this piece on, and I've decided I've glued the 3 top pieces together so that I can put this one on, and I can just come in and I can flex the bottom out to fit that on. The tape, when I took these parts off the sprue, I numbered the part and just put tape on it so that I don't get them mixed up and try and put this side on that side and vice versa, just so I don't mess it up. So I got to paint inside that, and I have to put in the cowl flaps as well yet. So I'm going to cut them off now and have a look at that and see how it'll all fit on. Alright, so I've decided on open cowl flaps, whether that's accurate for it parked on the ground or not. Don't really care, it just adds to the look of the model. Same as I put these in open. You got the option to have them closed. So the panel, if you close it, the other one will cover that whole section, but again it adds to the look of the model. So because I got open cowl flaps, I put some paint in here, the zinc chromate, because you will be able to see inside. I just put a bit of tape around the engine to protect it. I gave it a blast, and I painted in the wheelbase. The zinc chromate I am using on this one is AK Real Color, which is number RC263. When I get this on, I will be trying to put the stabilisers on, and I've taken one off, cleaned it up, ready to put on. I just want to see how it'd fit. So it's the left one. They've engineered this fantastic. So you got a groove in the slot there, and you got so you can't go wrong. Nice firm attachment point. This is a really good idea, and because I hate doing the stabilizers, especially on some of your older brands of kits, they might be a bit, I'm sure everyone's experienced it, you put them in and they flop down and they move around and they're loose, and it makes it difficult to line it up. This idea is good to go straight away. Oh dear, problems. So don't do what I did and put the engine on and put the cowls around. When I did that and put the bottom on to the engine and then put the top cowl on, they were extremely misaligned. It was something like this. That's how much step I had, and for the life of me I couldn't work it out. So I've pried the engine off. So you can see I broke the pin, no big deal, I still got one there. And I don't know, it's just something's not right, and I knew this would be an issue. This multi-piece cowling, it just makes life difficult. So the backing plate has this piece has grooves, and the cowl pieces have a slot that fits into the groove. So I've taken that off and put that in and wrapped it around tight. Now the other issue I feel is going on here is in here there's a groove, and I thought this piece of bulkhead should sit in those grooves, but it doesn't. It's not when you line that up. And then when I go to put this piece on, it wouldn't fit. I've got it now because I had to trim parts off. So I had to trim this piece off the back of here, the block off the cylinder, because it was fouling on here. And the tab that was on here that goes into here was fouling it as well. So I've cut that tab off. So now I'm starting to get what it's meant to be. But oh man, what a nightmare. I just knew that would be an issue. Now, again, this is my fault for not going with the instructions to some point, but still this fit, I shouldn't have to be cutting parts off to get it to fit. Now again, maybe it's me, quite possibly. I'm not a professional, so I don't know, I just can't get my head around why it's so difficult. And the other problem I have is the stabilisers aren't the same thickness as the root of the fuselage where they're attached to. So there's a step, and that I don't think is correct. I think it should be the same thickness. So now I'm going to have to probably sand them down to get the same thickness happening. Again, disappointing. Now that is not me. So now I'm going to have to glue this again. I'm still not happy with how this works anyway. Like, it's unnecessary, but anyway, that's how it's designed. Alright, this is how I'm tackling the root section where the stabilizer attaches to. I got some it's really heavy grit sponge. So I'm starting with that, and I'll just sand it down, and then I'll go to a lighter, finer grit till I polish it out, and then I'll probably have to rescribe this line in because I'll lose most of it. Underside, I'm probably just going to leave it because you're not going to see it, but they're the same. They got a step. That's, you know, I think it's really disappointing, but anyway, so I'll just keep working that, and obviously I'm protecting my details, the rivets and that, and I don't want to scratch the stabilizer because they're already too thin. And this I've started, I'm going to glue one side, which I have, let it set, and then I'll glue this side because it's just not a perfect fit, you know, so I've got to take the time to get it right before I put it back onto the aircraft. Alright, progress finally is on. You can see I've just smeared some putty on there and wiped it back. The whole length didn't require it, it's just as I worked it along with the cotton bud. It was just a couple of small areas. So eventually it is on. It was a mighty effort to get there though, but it's all good now. So I've cleaned up these root sections from the stabilizer to the fuselage, and I've put the control surfaces on, and you can see I've put a droop, just a small droop on them. I'm adding a visual interest to the model when it's sitting there. Again, I'm not sure if they were parked and they drooped or not, same as the flaps. I'm not sure if they drooped. They're pretty much neutral. I got a slight droop on them. So that is good. Now mention something positive now about this kit. You've got two lots of gear legs. You can have so like weight on the aircraft weight pushing down, or you can have it light load. That it'll be a longer leg. So I'm doing weight. So that's these ones, so they'll be shorter. So this is the left leg. So if it's that one, so that's your comparison. Hang on, some tweezers. I can see it better. So you can see there the difference with the weight. So you're looking at what, 5 mil or so, roughly, maybe a bit less of difference in your height of the wheel. So I'm going to make up, you just got to add the piece there, and we got the doors, but I'll take them off and then put it on, because the interior is zinc chromate, whereas the leg will be aluminium. So I'll clean up the other one, and then we're starting to get towards pretty much sort out my Tamiya propeller I got. So pretty much getting near painting stage. I've put in the tail wheel section that I made up. Remember I said there was two types. This is the one I went with. I've put the actual, where the wheel sits on, the leg, I've put it on an angle. Again, it's to add a bit of change to the visual look at sitting on the ground. Oh, come back. Yeah, so just something a bit different off normal. Okay, I've cut the windscreen off the sprue to have a look-see, and again, more problems. Okay, so it sits nice that side, it's flush with the fuselage, but this side, no, it won't. You can see it's got a lip, so I'm going to have to sand a bit off the bottom of the windscreen where it sits to try and get that in there better, because it needs to be flush. You can't have a lip. So yet another problem. Once I'll sort that out, then I'll mask the that off with Tamiya tape, and I'll probably glue that in. I'll see how good a fit I get. If I can get a really good fit, I'll glue it on at the end, but if it's difficult and I need to glue it in, I'll glue it in and mask it off for painting. Otherwise I'm pretty much getting ready to the paint stage. So I've cleaned up the doors for the undercarriage. So that piece is two parts. You got the skin on the outside, and then there's a this piece sits on the inside of it. Yeah, so getting there. It's almost time for me to pack up for the day because it's still having a heat wave.